Hello, everyone. You're watching BeeSeen Solutions, and I'm your host, A.T Bianco. BeeSeen Solutions is a digital marketing and strategic advisory agency working with clients all across the globe to grow their business. Today, we are joined by one of our amazing friends and clients, Garry Gant, who is here to talk about his new business venture, What a Tripp, a podcast talking about people's experiences traveling. Garry, thanks for joining us today. It's a pleasure. How are you?
Hey, thank you very much. I'm very good, man.
So I want to dive right into What a Tripp and what you really want to get out of it and what your plans are for it. So tell our viewers about that.
I created a podcast and it's for the love of travel. I've traveled around the world and these stories are unique in its own space. And so I got with a couple of my buddies and we were talking about traveling. And I met another guy who was a comedian who did the same thing that I did, but in a different space. So we came up with a plan and we just created a podcast. And we just thought that space was available because people talk about things, but most people don't talk about travel in that capacity. So that's kind of where we are on that.
So as far as who's hosting this show, and what has it been like, so far working with this particular person?
The guy's name is Alex Thomas. He's a comedian and an actor, and he's been in a ton of movies and done a ton of shows, and he just gets it. He's a funny guy. He's serious. He's funny. He's everything that we need in that space. And so working with him has been great. He does not miss a beat, and he's a straight professional. That's what's been very good about that.
And it's really cool to hear that you're, working with someone as, high profile as him. He's been in movies and he's a very successful comedian. And I saw on a write-up about What a Tripp that he was actually in a dancer on Soul Train, was it?
Yeah, him and Rosie Perez and Jennifer.
Really?
Yeah, he was on the show with those guys. That's where he started off from. And he turned that into acting roles and comedian roles and everything else. But he's just a good listener, and he's a great conveyor of words and listen to things. And he's just quick off the top of the head. So he's been great in that space.
So as an entrepreneur and a marketer and everything, what are some things that you've ran into that you haven't expected while putting together this show?
Good question. It's more of schedules, scheduling time and guys not showing up. Things change a lot, and I started it right during COVID, and it kind of changed the landscape of what we were doing. But overall, it's been a great show, and people have all come through on what they said, and we've had great time shooting those shows. And going forward in the future, I hope it's that good going forward. It's kind of where I'm at on that.
So as far as like a target audience for this, you obviously want to target people that are interested in travel and travel quite a bit. What do you want people to get out of watching this podcast when it comes to whether it's a celebrity that comes on, talks about their experience traveling, or just hearing funny stories?
I want people to get the love of travel out. Whether you're in a car, you're on an airplane, a train, a boat, whatever it may be, just the love of travel and your stories and your experiences. Those things resonate and they come across so well on our podcast. I just want people to be engaged in that part of the game, where they laugh and like, oh man, I did that. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, I would love to go there. That's kind of what I want to gather out of that.
And also like within their, the guests, you have basically a celebrity hosting the show who can find common ground with all of the guests. Like, I booked this hotel and I booked it under a false name, or, stuff like that they could find common ground on. I'm sure, watching it all unravel while you guys film has been pretty enjoyable to watch. And I'm sure you've had your own travel stories to share with them yourself.
We have great outtakes. Alex Thomas is a great host, and he pulls out stuff out of these guys that you would laugh and laugh and laugh. And little nuggets he finds, and he goes and he pulls them out of these guys. So it's been great.
How is your business relationship with BeeSeen Solutions developed throughout the process of creating this show and concept? And when did you meet Peter and Patrick, and how did you guys start, working together?
Well, this is pretty interesting with BeeSeen. Great brand, great company. I met those guys on another project.
Okay.
And they did so well on the other project, I had to bring them along with my project once I seen that. Patrick has been great, helpful, knowledgeable on everything in that space. So that brand is great. I love working with them, and I want to go forward working with them more. So that's kind of where we are on that.
As far as some of the specifics in what BeeSeen has helped you with, is there anything that you've learned along this process working with BeeSeen that maybe you didn't know before?
Oh, I didn't know about the LinkedIn route. And Patrick is an expert in that space. And what he's taught me so far, it showed me a lot of different things that I didn't know going forward, and creating a business and going forward with it and getting it out on that on the social media, on the business side. So that's kind of where I am with Patrick.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, he's definitely that the LinkedIn expert on that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that he helped you
That's
out
awesome.
with that.
Yeah.
And so what are some of like future business plans as far as rolling the show out, but also like I think within any entrepreneurship or creative person, we have a vision maybe 5 years down the line or whatnot. What could you kind of like expect for the rollout of this show, and what's your overall vision for its impact with people?
Well, the overall vision is just the love of travel. That's the overall vision. And I'm gonna grab little stories out of that and turn that into something big. And then the whole rollout thing is, at the end of the day, I wanna meet all of the people who travel, and we're gonna pick a destination, and we're gonna invite them all to come watch the show in person and come check it out. And let's talk to the host in person. Let's talk to some of the guests. And what I wanna do is have some of the guests show up at the place that we're all at and come talk to the audience. So that's kind of where we want to go. We need to end up someplace at the end of the day. That's why I created the show.
Right. And so you just kind of want to like boost that fan engagement and, the viewership, and create a community almost of people that love travel. And maybe in, that time of when you can invite people over, they could share their own stories
Correct.
about traveling, and everyone can find that common ground, which, I love to hear. And it's very interesting learning about this podcast. And to our viewers at home, this is Garry Gant, the leader and the creator of What a Trip podcast, coming soon. So be sure to check out any links that are below this video and learn more about What a Trip. And, Garry, we're very pleased to be working with you on this project, and we wish you the best of luck in the future. So thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Be sure to tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of great stories.
Awesome. So this is BeeSeen Solutions. I'm your host, A.T Bianco, here with What a Trip creator, Garry Gant. Give him a round of applause while you're sitting at home. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.